What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Team Solemn Circus live video. We are bringing back Mimighoul. This is going to be shout out to Todd. He had made this deck list for us. He's been playing this at locals, which you guys have seen back and forth, playing a bunch of different decks. I know you guys loved his deck profile at the regionals. He is still cooking up locals. I believe he got first place last week, got second place this Wednesday. So definitely lots of good stuff coming from him. We are now playing the trap. I know a lot of people were talking about how he forgot the trap in his last list. MBT put that on his channel. But he is playing the trap now. We are at 41 cards. The deck has changed. It's going to be Mimighoul, Fiendsmith, alongside going to be also playing those Cashier stuff. So before we dive into it, like, comment, subscribe, let me know in the comment section down below what else you guys want to be seeing. If you guys want to see a Mimighoul master guide, let me know in the comment section down below, and Todd and me will definitely work that up. So we're starting off with a 1 Mimighoul Master. Now I know before this card is definitely a potentially of a 2 of. Now we have cut it down because we are playing different engines. It's also unfortunate to always draw, so you always want to be special summon it off the maker. It's like the worst normal summon in the deck, which is why we're not really trying to maximize on playing it. Just something that if we do see, we can special summon out. We are playing triple copies of Archfiend, double copies of Cerberus, and the triple copies of Dragon. So we are maxing out on the good ones here. The Archfiend and the Dragon, this card alone can just break boards going second. You just give this to your opponent, normal summon out an Archfiend, or use a maker to try to summon out the Archfiend. Having it flip this face up and then just blow your opponent's board all up, it's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, all these cards are absolutely nice. Being able to normal summon this when it's your turn to search for a Mimighoul Solar Trap is absolutely insane as well. Hopefully we get new cards in the next set. Now Cerberus is also very underrated for people who have not played it. You're able to take your opponent's monster or one of your banished cards and banish the 3 of them, kind of like a Runic, or I guess a Rise Heart, which would be another good mention of it. But it's really cool, able to disrupt your opponent that way, banishing 3 cards and especially out one of them to your side of the field. Definitely helps. It gives you lots of bodies to link play. Now, like we mentioned before, we are playing the Fiendsmith stuff. We're playing double copies of Engraver and the 1 copy of Lurie. You don't really need to play any more of it. You don't want to clog up. You do draw a lot as well as tunnel through your deck. So just having multiple copies of different stuff is just not the greatest, especially when you don't want to brick on them. Talking about bricking, we are playing the 2 copies of Unicorn and 2 copies of Fenrir. Now, a lot of players before, I think Todd talked about how he was only playing the Fenrir prior. He was playing 3 and 1. Now we are bumping up the Unicorn to 2 and 2. Now this card is absolutely crazy. Being able to search for Birth alone in this card is just insane. Being able to banish cards from the graveyard, being able to banish their extra deck. When you give them a Mimighoul monster, they're activating the effect, which is going to let you rip, which always comes up game 1, or I guess turn 0. While Fenrir would not, you don't want to banish your own card. Essentially, it's going to come back to your field anyways. But Unicorn being able to rip, knowing what they're playing, definitely helps out. A lot of the decks currently are Fiendsmith piles, so being able to hit the copy of Sequence or the Lacrima just can kill the deck right away if they're playing a heavy Fiendsmith package. But hitting one of the Fiendsmith cards and then hitting one of their engine cards can just really destroy the decks. Even if you're playing against Memento, hitting the copy of the Twin Dragon can just really hurt. Then we are playing for hand traps, triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Imperm. Now this is going to be a little bit controversial. We are playing triple copies of Nib. You can play any other hand trap that you want in this slot. Where he just chose to play Nib, so that's why we're playing it. I know it does conflict with the copy of Unicorn and Fenrir, but it is unfortunate that we are playing. You could play 2 copies of, I guess, Bestial Magnemite, Bestial Druid Worm, and a Baldrake if you wanted to. It's really up to you on this hand trap here. Now moving on to the spells, we are playing triple copies of Mimighoul Dungeon alongside the copy of Terraforming, letting you search your cards and making it so your opponent cannot normal summon while they control a set. Definitely hurts a lot. We're playing 2 copies of Maker. You don't want to clog up on these, so that's why we're only playing 2 of it. You have lots of ways of searching, being able to search with Dungeon, searching for a copy of Dragon if you want to be able to search for more cards. Dragon can search for the Maker or the Room, depending on what you don't have. And then Maker, just being able to summon out 2 bodies, can just definitely help. One on your side of the field, one on your side. And it does not special note the other one that you actually search, which is important to note. We are playing the Fiendsmith track alongside the copy of Birth. Obviously, this is for your engines. You want to play the Cashier cards, you want to play the Fiendsmith cards. You definitely need to go for these options. Now for the other cards, we are playing the 2 copies of Prosperity, 2 copies of Talent. This is like the Nibiru that we were talking about earlier. You can change up these ratios. Talent is really good because, once again, like we mentioned with the Cashier cards, when you give the Mimighoul card to your opponent, they're actually activating the effect. Therefore, you can Talents rep their hand as well. Just helps it a lot, especially if you give them like Archfiend turn 0, then flip up the Archfiend, activate the effect. You're gonna draw a card, they're gonna lose a card, and then you can talents them and rip another card from their hand. They're down 2 cards, which is just absolutely incredible. And if they hand trap you like suboptimally with the Fiendsmith engine, they're gonna be down a 3rd card as well, which is definitely able to win the game. Now for the last 4 cards, we are playing triple copies of Room. This card's absolutely crazy. It's Book of Moon on crack, but also special made out a copy of the Mimighoul monster. And it doesn't actually have to flip down as well, which is insane. And then you could banish a card, target any Mimighoul monster, return them to the hand, which is obviously really nice. There are some really weird times where your opponent's actually going to negate their own Mimighoul monster that you gave them. So being able to bounce that back just can help out. And for the final card, we are playing the Azul Trap. We finally put it in their deck, so that's why we're playing it. You decided out game 3 a lot of time going first, which he did do in the duel tomorrow. So stay tuned if you want to be watching that. Want to watch the Mimighoul in action. But yeah, you play Rabbit, and then Rabbit sets this. It's another 4-movement drop, which is absolutely just huge. Now for the extra deck, we are playing the Mimighoul cards. We're playing the Solemn Mimighoul, the Crime, and the Zeus. You could play the other one, 31. It does not really matter which one you want to play, depending on whatever one you want. This one just looks cooler, in my opinion. Then for the fusions, now we do have to play lots of cards for the Fiendsmith package. Now, if you were not playing the Fiendsmith package, you can definitely put up different cards in your extra deck. Talking like a level 7s. If you want to play more of the copies of the Cashier cards, or you can just take out the Cashier cards and maybe play more of a Fiendsmith package as well, which would up your your extra deck count though, which is kind of important. This is going to be for the one card Fiendsmith combo, which is why you have to play it. If you don't play this, you're going to be kind of losing out on your stuff. And then Moons is free if you have extra bodies, which the deck has lots of ability to get into. Lets you get to breach into your copies of the Fiendsmith, which is really nice. And then Desiree, just a part of your end board. Then for the generic, we are playing IP, SP. People are talking about this card being hit. I hope it doesn't get hit, because if it does, we're going to be ending on a little weird of the bodies. Ending on SP is not going to be as powerful. Silhouette Rabbit, as well as the Nightmare Phoenix, just to be able to pop some back row. Like we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of times where you have like so much cards going in rotation. So you just being able to make a Nightmare Phoenix, which also can co-link into the Nightmare Griffin, which is what you're going to be ending on a lot of the time. So you want to end on like a Nightmare Griffin, the copy of Desiree, and like the copy of Silhouette Rabbit somewhere, or an IP or SP. But being able to like add back, setting Room off this can be really insane alongside like Desiree. Just helps out a lot. And then we are playing the one copy of Access Code for the OTK. A lot of times you're going to be able to want to push, your bodies do get big with Room. Having Dragon be a 25 attacker, having this be a 3000 definitely can come up. But if you have like Dragon and Access Code and a Master, you're going to be able to clear most boards. Which a lot of times you'll be able to pop like with different steps. The fire, the light, and the dark, which normally will come up once you have this going second. You make the Phoenix to pop a card in the back row. You link up into the Access Code. You target, you make it 43. It can pop now 3 cards because you're normally going to be ending on this turn 0, IP. And then you'll have another body which can be able to get you for game, which is quite nice. That's really it for the deck profile. It's quite simple and sweet. Hopefully this deck does get a lot of new support with the next set of Rage of the Abyss. But if you guys want to know anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. Remember to stay safe. Peace.